What do you think of TikTok in general?
TikTok hot take?
Yeah, well, are they tracking our data? Is this a Chinese spy software?
Probably, but
What?
I don't know what they're gonna get from me. Like worst case, they get my bank account, but I'm
Did
federally
you,
insured up to $250,000.
Yeah, okay.
So,
That's
but I don't know. It really was never like a question. It was just like, that's
This
what
is
if
what
I'm
you're
going
gonna
to
do.
college. I don't want to go to like for business or anything. That sounds kind of boring to me. I hate English, which is ironic because my girlfriend is an English major.
shout out.
Shout out.
Welcome back to another episode of the Rome's Room podcast. I'm your host, Jerome, and this is my room. Today, welcome to the podcast, one of my good friends from back in the day. He is an electrical engineer, a musician, a verified artist on Spotify, one Mr. Daniel Sawyer.
What's up, guys? It's a pleasure to be here, Jerome.
Your middle name Street?
Yep.
That's
The second, named after my father of the same
really?
name.
I didn't know
That's
that.
usually how that works.
Also, if you guys heard the little jingle at the front of this podcast, Rome's Room, Daniel made that jingle for me.
I did do that. I forgot about that.
That was like a year ago for a different podcast that I had planned that never saw the light of day. I think I filmed like maybe 2 or 3 episodes of it, and then just it got axed.
I'm glad it's getting the airtime it deserves.
Yeah. So if you like the jingle, Daniel will do it for you for free.
$20. I'll make you a jingle. It's the best I got.
We've got ordinary people on this show that have done extraordinary things. Dan, tell me the extraordinary thing that you've done.
Where do I start?
Like everything you've done is extraordinary.
Yeah. I guess what Jerome is referring to is my recent musical debut.
I would love to get into that.
Yeah.
I guess before we get into that, though, I do have other questions for you. For example, engineer, right? Back in, I guess we met each other, we went to school together 5 years ago. We really became friends, like, call it. No, we graduated 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
We're old.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway.
We started at UT, University of Tennessee, because everyone gets mad when I say UT. They always think it's Texas, whatever. We started UT in 2014. We probably started becoming friends sometime in like 2015 or so. I would love to know why electrical engineering, and because people always think like engineering's like one of like the hardest majors or whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People always think that. I never necessarily thought that. I've always been of the mindset of like anyone can do it as long as you're willing to work hard enough. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? Why did you do that?
Yeah, after going, I won't name names, but after making it through college with some people, seeing that they got through engineering, I'm like,
I know.
I'm probably not that smart because I got through engineering. It doesn't mean that much.
Walk me through your thought process here. Were you always like from a young age, like, I want to be an electrical engineer? Like, what? I mean, you literally have like a circuit tattooed on your arm.
Gang, gang.
Okay, well, that was, I guarantee the camera.
I'm sure the camera picked that up.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post. Yeah, I think I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was really little. I don't even know why, because I'm like afraid of sharks in the ocean.
What the hell? Okay.
But that's what I always said growing up. But then I realized they don't make any money, and that's...
Really?
I mean, unless you're like the 3 famous ones or something like that.
I didn't know that.
Why? Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm sure like a low-level marine biologist is probably a tough gig to get into.
Yeah, probably true.
So that was a pipe dream. But I don't know. I always liked building stuff and taking stuff apart. My uncle was an engineer, also at the U of T, Go Vols. So I guess I was inspired a little bit by seeing him do his stuff.
Okay, I feel you.
But I don't know. It really was never like a question. It was just like, that's if I'm going to college. I don't want to go to like for business or anything. That sounds kind of boring to me. I hate English. Which is ironic because my girlfriend is an English major.
Shout out.
Shout out. She can do all that and leave the rest, the math stuff to me.
No, it was interesting because I would describe you, out of like all of my friends in college, I would describe you as the most naturally talented. And what I mean is I feel like we had friends who like worked really, really hard at it, and they like had to teach themselves everything to like be successful. I would honestly argue that like I was probably that way. Like it didn't, like I had to study a lot to make it happen.
You had me fooled.
Well, Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, okay, I take it back. I'm a fucking genius. I'm the best there ever was.
Real here.
No, I feel like I had to like study a lot, but I felt like it just always came like naturally. Like I feel like you would study so little and still do like significantly better, like above average, if not like excellent on things.
Yeah, I don't know what that comes. I mean, I certainly worked hard, but I did not work as hard as a lot of people in college.
Yeah, dude, I thought you were an idiot.
Grateful for that.
I thought you were an idiot.
I put on a facade.
Yeah,
it's all an act.
Idiot, or
yeah, you want people to think you're an idiot and not be an idiot, so they don't ask you for.
Honestly, kind of true.
Yeah,
because if they think you're an idiot, then they expect that you can't do things, so then they won't ask you for things.
And then when you like turn around and do something crazy, they're like, "Wow."
Yeah,
people love a good comeback story. If
that's how you describe your college career, is a comeback story.
I don't even know what I'm saying here.
I don't either. Well, I'd also like to get into, on the last episode, I talked to a couple co-hosts, apologies,
they were
about frat life a little bit.
Right.
You're my resident fraternity brother.
Wow.
And I use brother as a term of endearment. I was not in a fraternity, let the record show.
You're not my brother. You'll never
be. Whoa.
You're not a member of the order.
I can't believe you would say that to me. I'm not your brother. Look at us.
You're my real brother.
We look the exact same.
Yeah.
We're literally the same skin tone, too.
Your dad is my dad.
Okay. Anyway, tell me about frat life. Why'd you get into that? Has it helped your career in any way? Because I feel like the biggest draw that people say in college is like connections, which I think there is probably some amount of truth to that.
I would say it's been overall fairly neutral.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay. It's more so like a conversation starter. You'll be like out with a customer and they'll be like, "Oh, I was in SIG-EP or something." I was like, "Oh, I was in a frat too." And then, you can sort of commiserate and relate to people. As far as connections go, I mean, I've been with the same company since I graduated college, and getting on with that company it wasn't like through a fraternity connection or anything.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was fun. I don't think I like structured my whole college experience around it. I joined sophomore year just because I was like kind of bored freshman year. But then I sort of made a lot of friends outside of that fraternity group sophomore year. And by like senior year, I was like, I hang out more so with my other friends anyways. I'm kind of just...
So you're saying we were better?
I won't
say it.
Throw anybody under the bus. I just related to y'all more probably because we had every class together and we...
Yeah. That's true. As like an engineer,
waking hour.
Right. As like an engineer, being in a fraternity is probably weird. I don't know. I would say most of your brothers were I would assume some sort of business, finance.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. It was a decent mix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good mix.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just relate more to the people that have similar daily struggles as you, I guess, which would be like the guys that you're in class with every day, day in and day out.
And I mean, for us, it was very much, we would go to class together, then we would go to the study room in one of the dorms that one of our friends lived in, and we would sit there for 8 hours a day and spend every waking moment together.
And sleeping moment. We'd all fall asleep in each other's arms.
Yeah.
And dream about what we just studied.
Nope, that's not true. This guy's a liar.
I think I did sleep a few times in the study room.
I did too, actually. There was this one time when me and two of our friends, I don't know if I should name drop. Well, Enciso's coming on the show in a couple weeks, so I'll name drop him.
Fellow guest co-host.
Yeah. So me, Enciso, and one of our other friends, we were like studying all night for this final exam, I think, and then we fell asleep in the study room. And I remember this so clearly. We were all peacefully sleeping, and it was like 5:30 a.m. And one of the, I guess, people that was like on the janitorial staff walked in and was so shocked that there were 3 boys sleeping in there that they physically let out a scream, a yelp. And she was just like, "Ah!" And then that obviously woke us up, and we were like, "Oh shit, where are we right now?"
We should probably go home.
Yeah, we should probably leave. Luckily, our exam was at I think it was at 7:30 or I don't know. It was an early morning exam. And so we just woke up, got ready, and then studied for a couple more hours and then went.
Peace out.
But no, it was an interesting time for sure.
Yeah, college is weird. You do things that sound like insane at this point in life.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do you have any other weird stories like that from college?
No, I didn't do anything.
Because, again, going back to you were just naturally talented. You would study for a little bit with us and then you would leave.
I would just stare at the book for an hour and absorb all the information.
From a single page.
And then hibernate until the test.
No, I mean, but we had some like hard professors. We had that one professor, Dr. Roberts. I don't know what he's doing. Hopefully he's still at this
If you're listening, Dr. Roberts, hey.
Shout out, Dr. Roberts. No, I remember he would have a weekly exam. He called them quizzes, but let's be honest, they were like exams. And we would have to like study for those, and he would like pit us against one another. He like told us at the beginning of the semester only 2 people or 1 person or whatever was going to get an A, and then every week you would take the quiz, and then he would post after the quiz with your like student ID number who made what score. Do you remember this?
Yeah, it was like Squid Games type shit.
It was, and your boy got A's both times, both semesters.
Yeah.
No biggie.
I don't know if I ever got an A in his class.
No, I mean
I think an A- one year.
I'm not lying. I did get an A in that class, but caveat with the first time I took the class, I was doing so poorly that I decided to drop out. So I dropped it. I think I took him 3 times. So the first time I took him for 3 different classes, to clarify. The first time I dropped the class, and then I took a different professor over the summer or something. I think it was for like circuits 2 or something.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah.
I don't think we were like close at that point, so I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, this like right before we got close, I think, because we met Josh in that class, and that was like how we became friends.
Oh yeah.
Over the summer.
It's all coming back.
And then Signals and Systems 1 and 2, we had him for both of those.
That's when the shit hit the fan.
Yeah. Oh man. Do you use any of that stuff still, like in work?
No.
Yeah. I don't know who does.
I don't even know what class I use in work. Maybe like circuits 1 and 2. Not even that really.
Economics 100.
Yeah, probably more so that.
Yeah. Like you estimate stuff.
Yeah.
So like
full disclosure, I don't even hardly do engineering anymore. I'm on like the sales side of engineering.
You didn't have to tell him that. You still had to get the degree.
I still got the paper, baby.
Yeah, and you still get that bag.
It's like riding a bike. I can do it if I want to.
Right.
Anytime.
But so in the midst of doing all this, how did you find time to work on the music? I want to get back to that. So for those that don't know, which is everyone because it's the first time you're meeting Dan, Dan is a musician, a not yet verified artist.
I think I am verified.
Are you really?
That doesn't mean anything.
Verified artist on Spotify.
I got the little check mark.
Go look him up, Sawyer Street.
I don't know what that means.
Technically has 2 albums out, but it's the same album, so kind of cheating.
Right. I got a country album too. I'll plug.
Okay. We'll give you a plug at the end. Don't worry. And so in the midst of all of this nonsense in engineering, we're talking about going to class starting like early in the morning, 9, 10 o'clock, and then we're like still studying together until, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, dinner time. When did you, actually, let's go even further back. Where did this love of music start?
Probably since 7th grade, I think. I picked up the guitar one summer because, why does anyone else pick up guitar?
For the ladies.
For the ladies.
Yep.
Did
that work for you?
It panned out, but it was a long road.
It took about 20 years.
It took about 20 years of hard music to finally lock one down.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. I've just always been drawn to it since then. I played in bands in high school and college. And
what kind of music?
Kind of all over the place.
Punk rock?
That's
Screamo?
Not that place. Place.
Okay.
Probably more like folk, classic rock.
Okay.
Blend.
Avett Brothers.
Yeah.
Type.
A lot of Avett Brothers in high school. Shout out to Avett Brothers.
Yeah, they're going to watch this.
They're still around.
Yeah, they're definitely going to watch this.
Scott and Seth. You know what's up. But yeah, it was just always kind of my hobby. I can't talk. I think I just barked everywhere.
I don't know what that noise was, but pause.
Fix it in post.
Nope, we're leaving it in.
Everybody's got their thing, and that's just kind of where I draw a lot of inspiration and meaning and
purpose of
catharsis
life.
From.
Catharsis.
The engineering's just a means to an end.
I feel you, to an extent. I mean, I started off as an engineer, and I immediately switched. But okay, so during college age time, like, what was the deal? How'd you find time to like work on that craft a little bit more and like keep up to date? Like, cause you played in college too, right? Like, meaning like in a
Yeah,
band.
I had a band in college. It was fun. Just kind of did local bars and stuff.
I have to admit this. I'm sorry. I never once came out and saw you.
Wow.
Ever.
Well, we were super good, so.
Were you? What was the name of the band?
Shout out High Heat. They're still going
High
strong
Heat.
without me. Knoxville's premier rock band.
Okay.
Original/cover.
What was this?
I don't know.
What was
a crossover of.
Okay. I thought you were
Originals.
doing like Wakanda Forever, and I was
Right,
like,
right.
well,
That too.
Chill out.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, but like, in the middle of all the studying and stuff, how'd you even find the time? Or is it like one of those things where it's like, if you love it so much, you will make the time?
I think that's it. That's just your way. Every free moment you have, if you're not like watching TV or something, that's kind of what I fill my time with. Yeah. And I had good friends a lot of my close friends, that's how I met them, was through that kind of group, networking with music, playing music together. And I mean, well, to be honest, senior year was kind of a joke anyways. So that's when I was like doing a lot with the band.
Yeah. And ironically, and the reason that I started this conversation off with the engineering stuff is you did a lot of like, you actually took what we were learning in class and put that to practical use by like making your own like loop pedals and like, I don't even know what they're called, like distortion kits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Shout out. If you want one, I'll make you one.
I'm just saying words.
$20.
That feels too cheap.
Yeah, that is too cheap.
That feels
I'd
very
be losing
cheap.
money.
Yeah. But tell me how you got into that. First off, how'd you figure that out? Like, we did a little bit of like amplifier stuff in college where we made an amplifier, plugged it into like an iPhone, and then like played music through it, and it amplified it. I mean, as you would expect. But how did you get into building these like loop pedals and stuff like that?
Turns out you can get a full education on YouTube. Yeah.
So you're saying don't go to college.
College is kind of a joke at this point.
YouTube.com/Jerome Vaz if you want to find out how to make a loop pedal. Just kidding.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's originally why I went into electrical engineering, was kind of the mesh of music and engineering. I was like, ooh, I could make a guitar amp or something. I don't know. So it sounded like a good idea. And then it was really like after college. I was, you graduate college, you got all this free time. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, maybe I can put some of this education that I spent so much money on to use.
And you bought like a 3D printer and everything to like
I did
make
that.
like the boxes.
But you just learned, kind of watched dudes on YouTube do the stuff.
Whoa,
learn how.
Pause. You watch dudes on YouTube?
Yeah.
Come on.
They know what's up.
YouTube.
Among other sites.
Anyway,
Facebook. They just kind of took what I'd learned in engineering and sort of applied it to music. I mean, a lot of that stuff's pretty straightforward. You take a signal and it's small, you make it bigger, and then you like mess with it, and that's music.
No, that is actually very impressive. I remember like when you first told us that, I was very impressed because I was like, I don't think I would be able to figure out how to do that myself. But no, it's super impressive. I guess next question I have for you. During COVID, right, world shut down, we're all locked in our basements. The 5, call it, of our closest friends from college, we would talk a lot, dabbled in some podcasting back then, tried to get a little YouTube channel off the ground doing some podcasts. Very unsuccessful, I would say.
We're back at it.
We're back at it now. Very unsuccessful channel. We talked almost on a weekly basis, and out of nowhere, literally like a year into COVID, you were like, hey guys, I'm dropping an album on Spotify next week. And we were all like, what the fuck are you talking about? We talk to you every week, and you've said nothing about this for the last year. What was that process? First off, I want to know what the process was. But before that, I want to know, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell us?
I thought it would be funny if I just did a whole album and didn't tell anyone about it.
And just didn't say anyone or anything to anyone.
Yeah, I like things like that where it just comes out of nowhere.
We could have promoted you.
That's true. You still can. It's not too late.
Spotify.
Songs About Nothing on Spotify, Apple Music by Sawyer Street. Probably YouTube. I don't know.
Probably YouTube.
Yeah, one thing you learn about me, I'm not good at promoting things.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not verified, but I'm also a Spotify artist.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I got 2 songs on Spotify.
You're listening to 2 professional musicians here.
It's true. The better of the 2, in my opinion, is called Big Mansion. Go listen to it on Spotify.
It slaps.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I liked it.
So I might have more than tens of monthly listeners. I don't know.
Well, good.
I doubt it. I might have 1, and it's probably me. I listen to it almost daily. And so does my mom, and her reaction when she heard it for the first time was, oh my. I don't know how I feel about these words.
I'm surprised she didn't disown you.
But then immediately after, she was like, wow, Jerome, you're so impressive. You still
My
do
son
so
is
well.
an artist.
Yeah, and I was like, thanks, Mom. You're so kind. But okay, so what was the process of recording that? Did you do all the recording like here, like in your house?
Yeah, so I did it all when I lived in Nashville. Surprise, I live in Indianapolis now. I don't know if we said that.
We didn't. You also didn't need to like dox
put a little
yourself.
banner.
You didn't need to like tell people where you live.
My address is in the comments. Come visit me.
Yeah, okay.
But I did it all while living in Nashville. I'd played music since I was little, but never really gotten into songwriting.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I just want to prove to myself that I can do it. So I wrote like 9 or 10 songs that I thought were decent enough.
Now, walk me a little bit through that process. Do you already have, the instrumental at that point? Are you working on the melody, or do the lyrics come first for you?
It was honestly really different for every song. Some songs would start out like a little guitar lick, and I'm like, oh, I like that, and build a song around that.
Yeah.
And then throw some words on it that may or may not mean anything to be determined. Maybe they'll mean something someday. But yeah, it's just a slow, I'd record like a verse and a chorus, and then based on the recording, that would sort of shape like how I want the rest of the song to go. 'Cause some people can like write a whole song in their head, and I don't really have that ability. I have to like put it onto tape and listen, onto a computer and listen to it. And that'll sort of inspire me to write the rest of it and keep it going. But
no, I feel you. Because for me, when me and my friend Mahir, we were the ones that like made the song, when we did that, like he made the beat like, I don't know, in like a couple hours or whatever. And then it was a lot more of like figuring out what the lyrics were afterward. But I don't know, I guess once you get experience doing it, like comes quicker. But he was just throwing words out. And honestly, half of it, he was like, the lyrics don't need to make sense. If like the tune, in this case, it was a rap song, so like if the beat is like people can feel it, like the lyrics don't really matter.
If it sounds good, it is good.
Yeah, which I think is fair. So, I mean, that was super impressive. You've also been working with your brother's band, super talented family. Your brother's also a verified artist.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Drumming Bird.
Lots of shout outs in this video.
Yeah.
I don't know how
I got a lot of people going.
Yeah. Anyway, go. We'll put all of this in the description or something. We'll make it fit. But your brother's got his own band, Drumming Bird. You've been performing with them a little bit. You like recorded with them a little bit. Now, what is the process of like you working on a bunch of tracks by yourself versus like working with another person / like playing someone else's music and like?
Well, after having done both ways, it's a lot slower to make an album by yourself.
Really?
Plot twist. Yeah, real shocker there.
Actually, I am surprised because.
Well, yeah.
I would think there'd be a little bit of like butting heads.
Yeah, there's not that creative potential like dissonance between the
I guess you guys
people.
are brothers and like probably.
Yeah. Well, with his stuff, it's more like it's his thing. That's kind of how I look at it. It's his music. I'm just adding whatever he wants me to add to it.
Right.
Because I play like drums with him when I used to do stuff with him.
But then most recently, you guys are putting out an album together.
That's my other brother.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You're joking.
Mm-mm.
This is the first time hearing of this. I fully thought that was the same brother, the one that was doing Drumming Bird. This is your other youngest brother.
Youngest brother. Shout out fam.
Wow. Okay. Lots of shout outs. I actually didn't know this. Okay. So yeah. Walk me through that.
Yeah. So I'm the oldest of 3. There's me, Austin, then Sam. Me and Austin and I have been doing music forever, basically since like middle high school. That was kind of our like brotherly bonding thing. But then in the past year or two, my youngest brother Sam and I sort of made this like fake country persona group. We don't really have a name for it.
What's the name on Spotify?
Yeah, Sawyer is what we released the music as, being our last name. Real creative there. I knew he had like a good kind of country voice, and we'd sort of written some jokey, the music was good, but it was, kind of a cheesy country track, which most country this day and age is anyways. And we're like, you know what, let's try to like actually put them to tape and like make an album out of it. Not necessarily like a full length, but see what we can actually produce with him and I.
Yeah.
So he came up for like a week.
What does he play?
He plays guitar, but on this he just sang. It was just his
really?
vocals. He came up for a week, and we just basically finished or started to write 4 different country-esque songs and recorded, produced them. And
how many songs are on the album? I saw it the other day.
it's just 4.
Just 4? So it's like
an EP for you musical nerds out there.
Yeah, okay. And the creative process there was no like bumping heads, there was no...
No,
I think it should go this way.
2 of them had already kind of been written, and then the last 2, he sort of had the ideas for the songs, like the theme and the structure more or less, and then I would kind of come in and put the actual music to it. And it was honestly, I was impressed by how well it came together. Like we pretty much did like 1 song a day. It took like less than a week to do everything, and then obviously you have to produce it afterward. But as far as getting it all tracked and all that, it was...
And then you're doing all of the editing and all that stuff yourself afterward?
Yeah, get the home studio set up, and we recorded it all in a basement here, and then everything else into the computer, really. So
yeah,
to all you aspiring musicians out there, you can do it in your house. You don't need a fancy studio.
I also recorded mine in a home studio. Actually, I've seen your home studio. Yours is very fancy. Like you've got a ton of equipment downstairs in your basement. You've got like soundproofed everything essentially. Mine was literally like in Mihir's bedroom. We just literally just recorded everything in there, and he did have like a little bit of soundproofing, especially like where his mic was, but basically it was just like a windscreen that like kind of wrapped around the mic, and that was it.
Yeah, especially for vocal stuff, you don't need like a fancy studio. You just need kind of some isolation, and the rest you can do in post.
Right. So do you guys plan on taking this music on the road?
Taking it on the road? I don't know. The main song, not the title track, but kind of the lead track, is called Blue Mountain State, and it is an ode to Coors Light. So my brother actually messaged the Coors Light CEO on LinkedIn last week.
Wait, really?
And said, he titled it "Unique Marketing Opportunity" was the subject line. And
Did he respond?
I don't think he has yet, but we're still waiting.
Okay, let's not say yet. He's not going to respond.
If you're listening, and we know you are,
what's his name?
Hit us up. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Bob Coors.
Bob Coors. I doubt that his name is Bob Coors.
So if that blows up, we'll talk.
I don't even know where to go from there. That is, honestly, if he bites on that and like that turns into something, that could be great.
That would be great.
Is the song literally just about beer?
Yeah, it's about you only drink your beer if the mountains are blue, like Coors Light.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as a the resident fraternity brother in the room, is Coors Light your choice of beer? And do we have to cut this from the episode when you say no?
Yeah, if they do take the song, then yes, I'll drink nothing but Coors Light till the day I die. If not, it's all right. It's good beer. I don't turn it down.
What is your number one go-to choice of beer? What's the resident?
It might be Coors.
Really?
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I don't have like a.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I feel like Coors is too. I don't know, man. It's almost got like a slightly bitter taste to it. I'm very much a Mexican cerveza kind of guy. Corona Premier specifically.
Ronies.
Premier's great. Modelo's great. Pacifico's great. The occasional Miller Lite.
I mean, all good options. My problem with Mexican beer is I always drink it when I'm at a Mexican restaurant, and I eat the chips, and then I drink the Corona, and it hurts my mouth. So I have a bad correlation.
Explain?
What? I think when I eat the chips at the Mexican restaurant, it like cuts my mouth a little bit. And if I drink Corona, it like hurts my mouth. Or margarita. I'm just a little bitch sometimes.
Yeah, that might be what it is. That might be what it is.
I don't know.
The salt from the chips don't hurt your mouth too?
I think that paired with the Corona does not do me well.
This is a segment that we do on the show. It's not really a segment, but I'm trying to make it a segment where we just bullshit and just talk about randomness. We know why you're ordinary, because let's be honest, man, you're a very ordinary guy. But we also know that you've done some extraordinary things. Now, I just want to show people you're just a regular dude, and you just like the bullshit. You look very stressed, by the way, as I'm saying this.
I do.
I
don't know what direction this is heading.
I can see the stress on your face. Well, okay, maybe before we get into that,
I'm jittery from all this pink lemonade.
Yeah, it's just okay. Maybe first question I've got for you, and this isn't even anything to do with what I just introed, so that's kind of ridiculous. Have you ever been recognized from all the shows that you've done in public and stuff? Have you been recognized at this point?
No, don't think so.
Wow, dude, you're so lame. You're so
I don't know
lame.
what I'd be recognized for.
No, obviously that was a lead-in because I wanted to tell a story. I don't actually care if you got it recognized or not.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Have you been recognized?
There it is. Thank you. Yes, I have. Have I told you the story?
I don't know.
So this was probably like in the first, call it 2 or 3 weeks that I lived in Richmond. I was out at a bar with like a bunch of my friends, and some guy came up to me and he taps me on the shoulder, and he didn't know my name, but he was like, "Hey, are you on YouTube?" And I was like, "What?" Because I thought it was a bit. I thought this guy had like my friends.
Is it
like,
because I'm Indian?
Well, okay. Well, we're gonna have to take you back to like a DE&I class or something. You know? No, I'm kidding. I thought like my friends had like put him up to this or something. You know, like because I'm just at like a random bar. At the time, I probably had like, I don't know, like 1,600, 1,700 subscribers on YouTube, which is like not a lot. So what are the chances this guy knows me? And he didn't work at my firm either. He like was just a random dude. And I was like, "Is this a bit?" And he was like, "No. Like I've seen your videos on YouTube. You do finance videos on YouTube, right?" And I was like, "Oh shit. Yeah, I do." And
I do that.
Yeah. And speaking of which, haven't made any finance videos in a while, but coming soon.
Money's not real.
You'll understand why. And I'm trying to get back into it. But no, this guy was like very adamant. He'd seen me on YouTube, and I was like, "Okay." And he comes up to me with his phone, and he's like, "Can we take a picture? Like, my friends aren't going to believe that. This is all completely true. I'm not making this up."
I think his friends will very much believe this.
Okay, fuck you. But he was so serious about it, and he was like, "Can we take a picture?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's take a picture." He takes a picture, right, and he's like, "Oh man, you're the most famous person I've met in Richmond," which probably not saying much, but he was like,
"Who else we got there?"
Yeah, exactly. But he was like, "You're the most famous person I've met in Richmond. Like, this is crazy. Like, thanks so much. Like, I'll, can I buy you a drink, whatever?" And I was like, "No, that's cool. Like, whatever." And so I leave, and that was cool. Cool story to tell, right? Couple weeks later, I go back. I'm at the same bar with my friends. That was just like our like casual hangout spot. See the same guy again. He did not give me the same energy this time. He looks at me and he goes, "Oh, so you're here again." And I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, diminishing returns on you, I guess.
It was very much like so you just come here a lot, huh?
Oh, so you're just some dude.
Right. You're just here all the time. It's not like you have anything better to do. And it was very demoralizing.
Ouch.
And I was just like, "Oh, okay, well, I see how this is. I got a huge ego, and now the same guy sunned me."
Yeah, that's an emotional roller coaster.
It was. It really was.
I think I'd rather just not be recognized than have to go through that.
Honestly,
Crushing. No, that sounds pretty fun.
It was cool the first time. The second time, it was soul crushing. I thought I was much cooler than that because of the first time. Clearly, I was not. Unfortunate.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, that would be a weird experience, even if it's not for anything like crazy, just to have.
Would you want groupies though?
Let's be real. Everybody wants groupies.
Do they?
Hey, cut that out. I'm a taken man.
I mean, that's true. He is a taken man. Don't be groupieing over him.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you to an extent, but then you hear those stories of like people taking it too far and like becoming like stalkers, you know?
Yeah, there's definitely a fine line. I would not want to be like world-shattering famous. Really? I'd want to be like a bass player in a semi-famous band.
Can you give me an example?
I'd want to be like the bass player in well, I think his name's Brad Hamilton, so I know that.
See, I don't know Brad Hamilton.
I want to be the bass player in like
Bass Nectar,
Modest Mouse or something.
I've never. What is that? That's not a band. That's not real.
Jerome doesn't know any music.
That's fair. I know Eminem. That's about it.
The people like know who your band is, know their music, but you don't get like mobbed with people. So you get to live the good life.
Okay.
But you don't get swarmed.
You want to be like a C-list celebrity.
Yeah, I would like to be a C-list celebrity.
Like you want to be.
Let's make that happen.
The level of like TikTok famous.
Yeah, I don't want to be TikTok famous though.
But like that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that level. Because I hate people that are TikTok famous.
You make TikToks. I've seen them. They're bad.
And I hope I don't get famous. Just kidding. Watch them.
How many followers you got on TikTok?
Too many.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh. But like, I'm not going to lie. You do make some occasionally funny content.
That's correct. The world doesn't see it that way. I need to get back on it. I think it's a numbers game.
1,000% is. If you were to, what's the word? Market? Yeah, that's the word. If you were to market your music on TikTok, I think you would do very well.
My brother has been like guerrilla marketing our country album. He's posted the same video. It'll be like a random like video clip with our song over it. He posts it like 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
And then one of them hits.
Right. Dude, it's just a numbers game. When I did my like chicken sandwich video, I made like, I don't know.
That pops up on my For You feed a lot.
Thank you, TikTok. I appreciate it.
But I watched it once, but it still keeps popping
up. Good.
As it should. It's supposed to give me new stuff.
I don't know, man, but I'm glad it does.
Well, I like to see your face.
To be fair, there were like 8 or 9 of them. So I bet you it's a slightly different video every time that it's given you.
That's got to be it.
But like a couple of them did like, well, maybe not on TikTok, but on like Reels. A couple of them did like 10K thousand.
10K thousand.
No, sorry.
It's like a million.
Yeah, no.
Billion.
Okay. I apologize. I apologize to the viewers and listeners. It did like 10K views on like 2 of them maybe. So it really is just a numbers game. I don't understand the TikTok algorithm. I just know that it gives me stuff that I like.
When he put a video up, it was like a guy jumping a wave on a jet ski because there's like a line in the song that's kind of about that, and the guy like flies off and gets hurt or something, and TikTok, it had like 5,000 views, and TikTok took it down because it quote showed dangerous activity.
Oh, dude, actually I think TikTok is you remember back in the day when YouTube went through its like, I forget what it was called, like Admageddon or whatever. What was it called? Adpocalypse?
Just a bunch of ads?
No, when they like got like super strict about like monetization, and like you couldn't cuss, you couldn't have like alcohol in your shots, you basically couldn't do anything anymore. They just got like super advertiser friendly.
Dark times.
YouTube has kind of not reversed, but like they've become a little more lenient on a lot of stuff now. And so you can still monetize things as long as they're like not harmful. I think TikTok is going through that a little bit right now. Because like on TikTok, you can't curse. If you curse on there, like the algorithm will like push your video down. You can't.
That's my problem.
I think that's the main thing is like you can't like say anything on there anymore. I don't know. As soon as like advertisers and stuff start allowing a little bit more of that, I'm sure
it'll balance out.
What do you think of TikTok in general? Let's do. This will be our pop culture segment.
My TikTok hot take.
Yeah. Well, you know, are they tracking our data? Is this a Chinese spy software?
Probably, but I don't know what they're gonna get from me. Like, worst case, they get my bank account, but I'm federally insured up to $250,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's finance.
Have at it.
Did you watch that like Supreme Court like? Or it wasn't Supreme Court. It was like a
hearing, congressional hearing.
Congressional hearing. Did you watch any of that?
Yeah, everybody that runs this country is really old and doesn't know what's going on.
Did you see the one guy that was like, "Oh, is does TikTok connect to my Wi-Fi?
Yeah, that's the
and
one.
the CEO was literally like, well, if you have your Wi-Fi turned on your phone.
That's a question so dumb. It's like, how do I even answer this question?
Right. Like, I mean, you're an electrical engineer. We understand signals and like we understand probably
you don't need
personal
to know
devices.
any of that.
You're right. You're right. You could just be like a millennial or younger, and actually, my dad understands that stuff. My mom understands that stuff. The questions they were asking were so ridiculous that I thought it was a bit. I thought they were on like Judge Judy or something.
I think it is. I think it's all a bit.
But I do agree with you. Like, for me at least, I don't have any information on anything that I'm not willing to like publicly share anyway. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, who cares?
I like food videos and animal cat videos. Yeah. Big whoop.
Right.
Cool.
That is kind of my take. I know the take of a lot of people is like, I'm not doing anything. I don't actually care, but it's more of like, if they do want something, they can take it from me. And like to an extent, I agree, but I do feel like they're leaning a little into like conspiracy theory territory, right?
I don't care about that part. I think it's bad in the sense of like, it's just got people like captivated. I think it's messing with people's. This sounds like kooky. Messing with people's brains, not in like some conspiracy way, but just
you're saying like the dopamine hit.
Yeah, like our brains are just not wired to see a new stimulus every
4 seconds.
4 seconds.
Yeah. Interesting. No, that I will probably agree with. I've heard a lot of people tell me they'll get like the little pop-up that says like, oh, like you've been on TikTok a long time. Maybe you should put your phone down. I personally never in my life have gotten that.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that either. So I guess that's good.
Like, well, sure. But I do feel like I probably spend an atrocious amount of time on TikTok. Like, I'll look at my phone right now.
I've had some intense scrolling sessions. You look up and it's like an hour later.
Yeah. Oh, way longer than an hour, dude. I'm on there like sometimes it's just my like go to sleep thing now, you know, which that's like the number one thing that people tell you not to do is not to have stimulus before.
Screws your brain up.
Yeah, something like that, right? And that's just okay. Right here, TikTok. This is this? I don't understand. Is this yesterday or is this the week? This feels like the week.
3 million hours.
Oh, but the week has only been Sunday. So yesterday, I spent on, and today. So for 2 days, I have spent 3.5 hours on TikTok.
All right, that's pretty bad.
That's a lot. That's a lot of time.
I think I like that they have ads on TikTok because I use that as like my marker. I'm like, all right, until when I get to another ad, I'll stop.
Interesting. Honestly, that's kind of like a good way to do it, I think.
That's probably not what that's for, but that's how I use it. I don't get lost in this endless void.
Right. So speaking of conspiracy theories, another one that I wanted to run by you that I heard. I want to preface this with I don't actually believe this conspiracy theory, but they made an argument that I thought was a really good argument. The moon landing. First off, let me get your take. Real, fake?
From what I've read, it would be more difficult for them to fake the moon landing than to actually do it. I think that was from Mythbusters, actually. I don't read. I watch TV.
Say it again? It was more difficult to fake it.
But video editing technology.
But they made Star Wars?
Not in 1969. That was like 10 years later.
Yeah, okay, fair.
The ability to edit video at that time was so bad at that point that like making a realistic moon video would be.
I want to point out, again, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I don't believe this to be true.
I think it's too big a cover-up. There's too many mouths to keep shut and not enough incentive to not spill the beans on it.
Okay.
So I'm pro-moon.
Fair.
But I'm open to new ideas.
Here's the argument. Again, to be clear, playing devil's advocate here. The argument that I heard was there's video evidence of a rocket taking off from the moon, right? The assumption there being that you'd have a camera on a tripod or something. As it's leaving the moon, two things. One, supposedly, I haven't gone back to watch the video or anything. I haven't done any research about this.
There's a camera on the moon watching the ship leave?
Yeah. So two things. One, how do you recover that video? Because it's like, didn't you leave? Or did they just take off for a show and then go back, go get the camera? And
or the
like,
camera was like transmitting.
Yeah, somehow. Which it's like, okay, transmitting to what? Also,
the Earth.
How?
Radio.
You're telling me they had radio Wi-Fi technology to the moon?
Yeah, that's how they broadcast the video of the moon landing.
That's what they say.
Well, yeah, obviously if it's fake, then
Here's the other thing. As it's taking off, supposedly, the angle, apparently it pans up to see the rocket move. Did they just leave a guy on the moon? Is he dead?
Yeah, what's his, Michael Collins, the third guy, they left him.
Yeah. Did he just leave them? Did they just leave him there and he's like videoing this shit?
If it pans, then
because I don't think they had that technology back then. I don't think they had DJI freaking camera equipment that was doing that.
Probably
Here's the other
not.
thing. Here's the other thing. They were talking to, was it Nixon or Reagan?
Kennedy was president. No, he wasn't. It was Nixon, I think.
Nixon?
It wasn't Reagan.
So aren't there videos of Nixon using a dusty ass old landline? Like, what is he talking to? And they're like talking to
talk to the moon.
Freaking, talk to mission control. You're telling me they got landlines up there?
It's just radio.
They got but connected to what? Why is he using a landline? But that goes radio connection. Where's the wire? You're telling me they have telephone transmission lines from the Earth to the moon?
Well, I think
connected to the rocket.
His landline would go to like Houston, maybe, and then they would beam it up. I don't know.
Okay, that could make sense. That could make sense.
I don't think that's enough to.
Okay, what about birds?
To assuade me. What about birds? Birds aren't real. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, serious talk.
Never seen a real bird? No, birds are real.
I have a friend who legitimately thinks this. Legitimately thinks birds are not real.
On what grounds?
I don't know. Maybe again, it's like some transmission thing, or like I don't know. I don't know why people are so like skeptical about the government. Well, I mean, a healthy amount of skepticism.
Yeah, that's just like a next level of skepticism.
Yeah.
Like why?
Same with flat earthers. I don't get that one either.
Yeah.
Try to explain that one to me.
Do steel man the argument for flat Earth?
Yeah. Pretend this is high school debate class and or debate club, and debate pro for flat Earth.
I don't even know if I can. Like, I think I watched a documentary about it one time. There's a whole like convention. It's in Raleigh, North Carolina.
You're joking.
Or at
Dude,
least it was.
There.
I know, we could have gone. It was when that video came out, and I watched it when I lived there. I was like, hey, I know where this is. Ironically, I think it was at like the Science Museum.
Oh my God. That's so disappointing.
I can't even like, there's so many like logical leaps you have to make to believe that.
To be fair, okay.
There's no reason to.
I've always said this from a young age, and I've never been able to articulate it in a way that makes sense. And people always say that I'm crazy for it, but I'm going to try again for you guys, for the listeners here on the podcast, and for you, Daniel.
Good.
So, when you're a child, 5, 6 years old, let's just say first grade, right? We don't understand the principles of physics or chemistry or biology. Sure, we learn all that stuff later in college, right? But as a first grader, you don't know that. Oh man, I'm going to sound like the guy that plays Lucius Lyon right now. Terrence Howard. Do you know this?
Is he a flat earther?
I don't know if he's probably, but he like made up his own math. Have you heard this?
Yeah, I think I have.
Where he says like 1 + 1 is 3 or something like that. And I don't know. I'm going to sound like him for a second, but try to stay with me. We don't know any of the principles of physics to be true. We just know what people teach us to be true, right? In the same way that I was born in India, I started speaking Tamil. I went to Japan. Someone taught me how to speak Japanese, and I came here and someone taught me how to speak English, right? I only know what words are because I have to have 100% confidence in the system that is teaching me that what they're telling me is true, right? So far you follow. So you're in first grade, in math class, your 26-year-old first grade teacher is telling you 1 + 1 is equal to 2. You as a 6-year-old, you have no basis to believe that other than the fact that someone of authority is just telling you that that is true, and you just off of pure faith have to just accept that that's true. And then I guess the backup to that is like society all agrees that that's true, and there are scientists, physicists, mathematicians out there that can corroborate that is true, right? But now put yourself in a vacuum of a flat earther and say someone is teaching you, someone with credibility is teaching you that the earth is flat, and they're saying a bunch of shit that sounds like it could be possibly true. If you, again, just off of pure faith, just believe that to be true, I think there's a way you could end up there.
Yeah, I mean, if I had no scientific understanding or training, I would think the earth is flat because it looks flat.
But what about when you fly on a plane? You can
if I wasn't, if I was living in like the 10th century or whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's to, like, people say they were dumb back then. Like, you would have thought the earth was flat too. You don't know.
What's the Venn diagram between people that think the earth is flat and people that don't believe in the moon landing? I feel like it's got to be a lot of the same people.
That probably coincides.
Because it's like, if you don't believe in the moon landing, then you don't believe that people have seen the globe. You know what I mean?
But it's like, if you don't believe the earth is round, then you basically have to discredit all, like, satellites and Wi-Fi and all science that GPS is dependent on the fact that the earth is round. You have to believe that all that is just
explain that
conspiracy.
How is GPS dependent on the earth being round?
Well, I guess in some, like, complicated way you could make the case it's not, but it's like the satellite is geosynchronous, so it's like,
oh, I see.
Stuck with
yeah. Okay.
So the earth, I guess you could argue it if it was flat, but
no. I feel like I have to, like, prove something here because I feel like I've been playing devil's advocate too much.
Yeah.
I think that
we
the earth
love
is
our big round earth.
Yes,
we love
correct.
How round
I am not a flat earther. I do not believe.
Can't get enough.
I believe we did land on the moon. I do believe the birds are real. Let's get that out there right now.
Yeah, I think with any conspiracy, you just have to ask, like, why? What's there to gain by believing that by convincing the world that the earth is flat?
Dude, I truly believe it's just this anti-authoritarianism. Did I say that right?
It's close enough.
Okay. Where I think just for so long people have been fed up that specifically governments have been just, like, telling them what to do and, like, telling them what is right and wrong and what is real and not real. Mm-hmm. I think part of it has to be a little bit of this, like, anti-authority, like, rebellion.
I'm sure that's where it comes from.
It has to be. It has to be. Like, I don't know where people can make such a big leap from being in, like, middle school where everyone's teaching you that the earth is, like, round and, like, a globe, and then how you make the jump from there to it is flat. I don't really understand. It might also, like, start from a place of, like, ironic comedy, you know, like the same reason I like 2 Chainz as a rapper, you know, like he starts off just saying the most hilarious, funny shit. And that was how I got intrigued. And then
Next
the more I listened to him, I'm like a 2 Chainz fan.
Different.
Exactly. I'm different. Okay. Can't sing. Copyright.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same way, it's got to start from a place of irony for some people. I don't know, man. Give me one sentence to disprove flat earth theory to all the haters out there right now. Go.
We have people in space that looked at the earth. But see,
yeah, don't forget the guy that they left there.
That's
to
the
hold
problem.
The camera. Hold the camera.
Any evidence you offer, it's like they can just say, "Oh yeah, that's part of the conspiracy. There aren't actually people in space."
I just don't know why none of them just walk to. If it's a flat Earth, I don't understand why one of them doesn't just walk to the edge of the Earth.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Or take a boat to the edge of the Earth.
It'd be really easy to prove this day and age.
I feel like yes, it should be.
Or just get in a plane and fly one direction. And then you'll end up back in the same place. Fly around the world.
Yeah, like that Jackie Chan movie. Around the world in 180 days or whatever it was called.
He's in a hot air balloon, I think.
That's true. But do that.
Same thing.
It's a good idea. So for all you flat earthers out there, get a bunch of money and do that.
We're
fly
coming
around
for
the
you.
Earth. We're coming for you. We're the next Neil deGrasse Tyson podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Is that his name?
Yeah. DeGrasse.
Degrassi?
The grass is green.
What's Degrassi? Oh, Degrassi's the show that Drake was on.
That'd be a good crossover.
All right. Well, Dan, where can the people find you? What do you have to plug?
I got too much to plug. You can find me in Indianapolis.
Okay. Well, not quite what I meant.
I'll hang out with anybody. I don't care. Sawyer Street is the artist's name. Songs About Nothing is on Spotify, Apple, all streaming platforms. And then Sawyer, the self-titled EP, is also out on Spotify. Great country summer anthems for beer drinking and driving water vessels, whatever you people do.
Around this flat earth.
Yeah, around this flat earth. And that's about it.
Sweet, man. What about on social media? What are your tags?
Hashtag.
You don't even know.
I don't know what my tag is.
What's your Threads username? Are you on Threads yet?
No.
Get on Threads.
Haven't bought into Threads.
Get on Threads. It's better.
Yeah, if you want to follow me on the gram, it's going to be D_saw_ya. D-saw-ya.
You're joking.
I need to change that because that doesn't flow well enough. No.
You should just change it to @Sawyer Street.
Yeah, I need to make an account for that.
Well, thanks for coming on the pod, Dan.
That was fun.
Thanks for co-hosting. You can catch this podcast anywhere you get podcasts. Apple, Spotify, CastBox. I made up another name of one the other day, but anywhere you get podcasts. Watch it on YouTube.
AM radio.
Not AM radio.
Channel 580.
Nope. YouTube. And if you want to watch the video version. And, as always, if you want more of this, subscribe, like, comment down below. Tell us your conspiracy theories. And Dan will read all the comments and respond personally.
If this is the smash like... I messed that up. If this is the subscribe like button, do that.
Violent. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.